everyone. This is Deborah Greif, the chairperson of the Brooklyn Family Support Service Advisory Council. And yes, I am also the state rep to the statewide advisory council for Brooklyn. Now, I also want to welcome everyone, but I also want to, and where is everybody? Are we still on? I can't see. Okay.
Everyone else is on mute. Please continue.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, I would like to introduce chairperson of the Brooklyn Developmental Disability Council, Mrs. Joyce Levin. Joyce, are you there with us?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, everybody, we want to, Christopher is the full for the webs, the part of controlling the meeting on the web or the phone. Christopher will be controlling as the host. We know that we have a lot of guests, we have a lot of stuff to cover, but before we even do anything with the minutes or everything, there's
Madam Chair, before you start, we do have to do the housekeeping rules first.
Go ahead, I was trying to do that. Go ahead, go, do it.
Guys, good morning. Again, as I repeat, this is the housekeeping rules. At this time, in the bottom of your mouse, you should see everyone should be on mute. The only person should be on right now is Joyce Levin, Deborah Greif, and Sandy Neighbor, so therefore she can double check the minutes as well. And we will be doing that after. Right now, if you're on the phone, *6 is to mute. Everyone should be on mute except the chairs, persons, and Sandy Neighbor. Thank you.
Okay.
Also, everyone has any questions or comments on your video, and someone is pressing a button. Please make sure you follow these instructions at this time. If you have a question, *9 is also available on your phone. On your keyboard, you should have alert Y, or as Ruth will say it, adapt alert, but it's on the bottom of your keyboard with the L, it's capital A, capital L, T. Press that and then press Y and your hand will be shown. All right. Now, Madam Chairpersons has something to add. Joyce and Debbie.
Joyce, do you want to go first or do you want me to?
I can, if that's okay.
No, I want you to go first.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, everybody, and thank you for joining our meeting. I know it's hard to believe it's a month since the last time we met, 3 months into this pandemic. Hopefully things are easing up. But I did want to start out by recognizing the horrific events of the last 2 weeks. And on behalf of the Brooklyn DD Council, I would like to acknowledge the horrific events of the past several weeks, the awful murders of George Floyd and most recently Rayshard Brooks by police. Together we stand with the Black Lives Matters movement in calling for reforms and social justice for all. We must stand together in forging ahead and calling for the much needed changes that must occur. So on behalf of the councils, we like to express that.
I want to add one thing, Joyce. We also want to express our sadness and grief for Breonna Taylor, also, who unfortunately was in her own home and was shot by police. Unfortunately, she died. And we totally agree with the statement from the Brooklyn DD Council. We all Black lives matter because every life matters. And we stand together as a united council, even though we're technically different in just the name, but we all stand together for that. So I just wanted to add that piece. Joyce, is there anything else is somebody else we need to talk about before we do a minute of silence too?
We'd also like to acknowledge the passing of one of our very, very dear friends and past DDRO directors, Usha Ventukaragan. I'm not sure if I pronounced her last name right, but many of us had the pleasure of knowing Usha, working with Usha, being on the council with her. She was quite a leader and a legend, and was sad for her passing recently.
And we, the Brooklyn Family Support Service Advisory Council, also are very saddened to hear and the loss of Usha Van Topkirk. I hope I said her name right too.
You did, actually. Close enough.
Because of Usha, parents like myself and others, we were able to get so many services. She always could answer our questions, and we knew she was there for us because she wanted us to be able to take care of our children in the right way. And I appreciate everything she's done for not just my generation, the past generations, and the seed she planted for the future generation. So I join with the Brooklyn DD Council. We are very, very sad of her loss. We also want to say we're so sorry for any individuals or their families who died from COVID-19. We hope eventually a vaccine could be found. Also, if any staff workers pass, our hearts are heavy for them also because of they're our heroes too. So we should let us all do a moment of silence. Thank you. We want to thank everybody. The next item on the agenda, I just want to get some housekeeping out, is for the minutes. If you have reviewed the minutes for the joint meeting that was last month, please read them quickly. Also, if any, we will also need to have, if there's no mistakes, we'll need a motion to be made. Is there anybody there that can make the motion?
Yes, Madam Chairperson, there's one thing you should remind everyone. For the record, also, that the minutes are also available on the video, as I said earlier. So
Yes.
it's a two-way minutes. You can, as we're doing today, recording this. This is also available on the YouTube page and also available on our website.
Yes, because we want to make sure that the families or professionals who could not make it here, because we do understand this is not the normal date, but we knew that it was best for the two councils to unite. So, Joyce, do you have any issues with the minutes or everything's okay?
No, everything was okay. Thank you.
There is a person has a question. It's Ann Menino.
Ann, are you there?
I'm here. You hear me?
Yes.
Please
Okay.
say what you want to.
Sandy, I want to say this too. I want to congratulate you for taking the minutes and doing an excellent job. Just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay.
And hold on, there's another question from the phone line.
Yes.
Okay, phone person 347, please, your hand is up. We see you. You're off mute.
Did you unmute?
Go ahead. You can
Just
speak.
wanted to say good morning to everyone. This is Anthony Gilmore. Haven't had a chance to be at the meetings for a long time.
Good morning,
And I
Anthony.
just wanted
Good morning,
to say good morning.
Oh, good morning, Anthony.
Anthony, we're
Thank
so
you.
glad to hear from you.
Yeah.
And you know, our prayers have been with you for this whole time. And we know Sandra's smiling down on you and Isaac. All right?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're
Okay.
welcome, my dear.
We do need someone to please make a motion for the minutes, the joint meeting minutes. So I'm including everyone. So please, everyone who wants to
This
make
is Lori. I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Thank
Lori,
you, Lori.
who will second it?
Who's seconding? Who's making all that crunching noises? It's not dinner time yet.
Oh, sorry.
Who's approving the minutes?
Lori Rosenfeld made a motion
She
with the
made the
compliment.
motion to accept it, Lori Rosenfeld. Now we need one more person.
I need a second from someone.
All right, I'll second it to
No, I
speed
don't have
up
that.
Deborah Bright. Okay?
Kind of, but that's not what it is. They know we don't have it.
Okay,
No?
I'm gonna mute everyone, so guys, give me a minute.
Could
Minute to can carry. Okay, let me get Joyce back on.
I unclicked, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you. Joyce, you're on again.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
All right,
and I'm putting Sandy back on a second.
thank you.
Okay. Yeah, Sandy, you're back. Okay.
All right,
Okay. Now, we do have our speakers now, and I'm going to move on to the next item agenda.
okay, which is our first speaker?
First one, if Jonathan and Matt is there from
Moped.
special announcement,
which
they can make
stands
their-
for the Mayor's Office of Persons with Disabilities. Matt and Jonathan, are you there?
Yes, this is Jonathan Novick from MOPD. I'm here.
Good morning. Good to
and
see
with your special guest star,
This is Matt Axel from Project Access for All. I am here as well.
Hi, thank you, gentlemen, for appearing.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Should we take it away?
yes, just remind both speakers, you guys have 7 to 10 minutes because we want to make sure, I know Rebecca's here. We want to make sure everyone, we're going to ask both speakers to speak, and then we will flag the question in the bottom that you will see. If you have a question, again, I said, press the alert 9, and I will see you later on it after we finish.
Absolutely. That sounds great. Matt, if you don't mind, I'll start first and I'll turn it over to you. Is that all right?
Please.
Okay. So good morning, everybody. My name is Jonathan Novick, and I'm the Outreach Manager for the New York City Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities. If you're unfamiliar with our office, we work to ensure equal access to everything New York City has to offer for people with disabilities. Outside of COVID, during what we call blue skies, that is equal access to transportation, housing, benefits, employment, fun things too, Broadway shows, our beautiful arts and cultural institutions around the city, our parks, and other activities that make New York City so great and what it is. Now, during COVID, of course, we've been doing a lot of work to ensure that COVID response and resources are accessible for people with disabilities as well. Now, I'm going to talk about the Americans with Disabilities Act celebration in a minute, but I just wanted to just do that quick little PSA that if you are looking for more information on coronavirus, the city, specifically, the health department, health and hospitals as well, has put together a lot of good information. You can visit nyc.gov/coronavirus. You can call 311. You can also text COVID to 692-692. So once again, that's nyc.gov/coronavirus. You can call 311, or you can text COVID to 692-692. Now, if you're a person with a disability and you're interested in getting in contact with our office, if you have questions, either COVID related or not, but if you are a person with a disability and you have questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out to our office directly. You can do so by calling 212-788-2830. That's 212-788-2830. You can visit nyc.gov/disability. That's nyc.gov/disability. Or if you are a person who is deaf, or a group of people who are deaf and prefer to communicate in American Sign Language, you can connect to our ASL Direct program, which is a person, 9 to 5, who can be called via video phone and share information and resources directly in American Sign Language. You can learn more about our ASL Direct program and get connected by visiting nyc.gov/ASL. That's nyc.gov/ASL. You can also call our video phone number at 646-396-5830. That's 646-396-5830. And finally, we've put together a lot of information, disability specific, on coronavirus resources, talking about food delivery and supply delivery programs, home health care, mental health resources, and other things that have come up as a result of our weekly check-in call with the disability community. You can find that information and more on our website at nyc.gov/disability-coronavirus. That's nyc.gov/disability-coronavirus. Now, with all of that being said, this summer is the 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which is very exciting. The 30th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act. If you're a local New Yorker, hopefully you've been to the New York City Disability Pride Parade before, and taken part in other celebrations done by other community organizations in July. Unfortunately, because of COVID, we can't do our typical, in-person celebrations out of concern for wanting to maintain social distancing and wanting to, move past this area of coronavirus by maintaining health precautions. But that does not mean we are not celebrating. So my office, the Mayor's Office of People with Disabilities, we are currently working on a number of different things in addition to working with my friend and colleague here, Matt Axel, who will tell you extensively about a lot of the programming that Project Access for All is doing as well. But we are putting together a lot of virtual programming that will be available throughout the month of July. A few quick examples: we are putting together a virtual online exhibit of disability rights. We had something set up in the Brooklyn Historical Society when we celebrated 25 years of the ADA. We have digitized that exhibit and we are expanding upon it to touch more on work, and we've actually made the entire exhibit accessible for folks who have vision disabilities as well as hearing disabilities, so everyone can experience it. We are putting out a call for submissions. Actually, we just announced it yesterday on our social media channels that we are putting together a disability art exhibit called The Journey. It's a call for all disability artists from all mediums to submit your work that you feel passionate about for possible consideration for a virtual exhibit we'll be putting on later in July. We are holding employment events with our NYC at Work employment program, ranging from professional workshops to conversations about, how to be digitally professional, as we are currently working through this, this virtual space that you're all joining right now. We are working with New York City Parks Department. We're going to be holding some virtual tours of accessible parks that recently have undergone renovation to make them more ADA compliant while still, while adhering to inclusive design so everyone can enjoy things. We're going to be putting on a series of digital accessibility workshops where we educate everybody on accessible social media, accessible websites, accessible documents, how to go about making them if you want to brushing up your skills, as well as a larger conversation on assistive technology that any person can access to benefit. For example, audio description. For somebody who is blind or low vision, to listen to video content, you can, enjoy something like that. But anybody can use it. If you're doing dishes, listening to your favorite program, you can listen to audio description and get a lot done without missing a beat. So little things like that. So we are putting together a lot of programming on our calendar, on our ADA 30 website, which we will hopefully be announcing and sharing by the end of the week. But also, we have been working with the incredibly hardworking Matt Axel and Elizabeth Axel, who are spearheading the Project Access for All, which the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities has been a part of. And Matt, I'm going to turn it over to you to talk more about that and what that is looking like.
Thank you, John. Hey, everyone. I'm Matt Axel from Project Access for All. Elizabeth Axel, who is my mother, full disclosure, and also how she got the free labor on my end, wasn't able to join us today, but come on, tell you all a little bit about what we're doing at Disability Unite and answer any questions. So a little bit, starting from the top, some of you may know Project Access for All from our work with the 25th anniversary of the ADA. 5 years ago. For those who do not, Project Access for All is a community consortium, meaning it itself is not a nonprofit organization. It's comprised of a number of community organizations so that it truly represents the community and the community's needs. One of the projects that we have ongoing, and we're very honored to be working with the Mayor's Office as well as a national working group and any partners who like to join, is Disability Unite. Disability Unite is a brand new initiative that is meant to provide a celebration for the 30th anniversary of the ADA in a virtual environment. as well as be a platform for the disability community to engage with each other, to celebrate, to connect, and discuss everything that makes our community so amazing. A little bit about our event and why we started Disability Unite. We really are very much about community and inclusion. We're all about bringing people together, and we will not exclude anyone. Unless they're a person or organization who is against the disability rights movement, which I can't imagine anybody would be, we want them on board. We want their participation, and we appreciate their help. We created the Disability Unite brand, a brand new brand, specifically because we want people involved, and this way we're not highlighting any one organization over another. Disability Unite will be having on July 26th, the Disability Unite Festival. It will be hosted on disabilityunite.org and will be a 3 quote-unquote stage live stream event, with the first stage including music and dance performances. The second stage will have discussions with topics such as get out the vote and self-advocacy, things that we certainly believe need to be talked about every day, if not particularly now. And the third stage, is certainly geared toward a younger audience and has a more, a lighter tone, which will be live gaming, video gaming, similar to what's done on Twitch. And, is really meant to bring in the younger audience that's certainly needed to be included for topics such as get out the vote. We really do need to include a younger crowd to make change happen. So that's very briefly what we're doing. And now, where we would like to loop everybody in. As a community initiative for the disability community, by the disability community, we welcome participation wherever somebody is willing and has the time and resources that they would like to dedicate. So, at the very least, appreciate you supporting us by getting out the word, telling other people about Disability Unite. And then beyond that, if you would like to be involved in the festival on July 26th, or work with us to create another event to be hosted on the Disability Unite platform, we very much welcome it. We know that there's so much that our community has to offer, and we want to, Disability Unite would like to help however we can in making that available to the community. So I'm going to put my email in the chat. Happy to answer any questions now or at the end of this call. Go ahead.
We're going to hold on to the questions because right now, to adding what Jonathan said earlier, we're going to let our next speaker come in speak, and we're going to hold on to questions after, because then we can then do it a little quicker and a little faster.
Okay, but Christopher, I want to just say something to both Jonathan. Well, Jonathan knows, but Matt, you're mirroring Christopher and myself, because I'm mom and he's son. So it's really nice to see another mother.
Very nice to meet you.
Together, I wanted to bring that up, and of course, I can only talk for my council. We're definitely want to work with you, and I believe that, of course, the GD Council, because we're very pro. We want to make sure everything's included. So I just want to tell you that. And one other thing I want to make an announcement is, please go give this back to your commissioner. We're very glad he was appointed to the MTA board, our first visible person with disability, and we know things will be. So that's Victor.
We're excited as well. Thank you.
Commissioner Victor Calise Lopez is now on the MTA board. So I just wanted to get that, and thank you, Chris, for letting me say that.
Welcome, but let me get to the next speaker.
We have to get our next speaker on. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, Rebecca, you there? Because I know you're there.
Yes, hello.
Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning. Hi, Christopher. Christopher and I go way back from my time when I worked at the Riders Alliance for almost 8 years. So I'm really excited to be here today to chat with all y'all, and also want to give a shout out to my colleagues at MOPD who do amazing work, and just really delighted to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Rebecca. This is Deborah Greif. Yes, we do know each other too.
Hey, oh yes, hi.
Hi.
This is awesome. So I'm here to quickly talk about the Test and Trace program to stop the spread and prevent resurgence of COVID-19. I'm sure I don't need to remind everybody here what COVID-19 is. We know that it is hurting vulnerable populations the most, and we're really working hard to make sure to protect our loved ones. And when I say vulnerable populations, we know that folks most at risk, not only of getting COVID-19, but having serious reactions to it and being hurt the most are, communities of color, immigrant communities, people with disabilities, and seniors. And so that's why I'm really glad to be talking with y'all today and seeing how we can spread the word about testing and tracing. So basically, and I'll be very, very quick because I know we have little time, but the first thing to know is that we have expanded testing. That's huge, right? We went from saying that nobody should be tested or to, unless you're really in trouble. And now we're saying you should get tested. Basically, you can get tested now regardless of your symptoms. You can get tested now regardless of your exposure, although of course, if you've been exposed or are experiencing symptoms, you should get tested. We have over 100, I think even close to 200 testing sites across the city. I'm going to put in a website in the chat box as well as a phone number you can call, which is 311, to find a testing site near you. And then the second thing to note is that if you get tested positive, the city is here to protect you. The city, a contact tracer, you might have heard of them, will call you if you test positive. So you need to answer the call. Either your caller ID will have a 212 number, or it will say test and trace or contact tracer on it. But even though we're all used to not answering the phone these days, we need to answer the phone because it may mean that you have a positive test. And what we need to do is make sure that everybody who tests positive can safely separate. And what that means is either safely separate in their home, if they can, or the city will provide you with free hotels with everything you might need, including pajamas. So if you can safely separate in your home and you don't need a hotel, the city will make sure that if you need anything, so like, for instance, if I have to safely separate, I can arrange for my own delivery, but there's many New Yorkers who can't for a lot of reasons. Maybe you have a dog you need walked, maybe you have medicine you need to get brought to you, and for whatever reason, be it economic or due to a physical disability or anything, New York, the contact tracer will find out and will connect you, like ask you about that, and will connect you with a resource navigator who will basically connect you with whatever you need to safely separate at home for the 14 days that you need to. This is the way we stop the spread. Because if we all get tested regularly, especially when we've been exposed, then we will be able to stop the spread because we will be able to isolate and identify individual cases, find out who we've been if I've tested positive, who I've been in touch with, close contact with, and then that contact tracer will call them and give that person everything they need to safely separate. This is the only, short of a vaccine, and I'm not kidding here, this is the only way we can stop the spread. This is the only way we can get ourselves in some way back to normal, right? And hopefully a better normal. And so I need your help here today actually is to help us spread the word. I need help spreading the word about mostly testing and also encouraging people to answer the call. So I'm going to put in the chat box in just a moment all of the links, but one of them, in addition to more information about test and trace, a place where you can find a testing location near you, either online. It's basically like a Google map of testing locations, which you should call beforehand to make sure that, you want to make sure if they don't take insurance that you don't have to pay for it, because that's big too. All testing is available for free, but you want to make sure you call in advance that location can provide you with a free testing if you don't have insurance. And then also, I'm going to ask you folks if they want to fill out a Google form. We want your help, whether you could do a little or a lot. to protect our cities and to protect New Yorkers, we need to spread the word. We need to tell everybody, get tested. If you went to a protest, get tested a couple times. If you are about to see your parents, get tested. If you're, just get tested, and answer the call if you test positive. So whether you can do a lot, be that share on social media, maybe you can call 5 friends, maybe you can host one of these if you're an organization for your own membership. We, whatever it is, we will be in touch and spread the word. And we will ask you to give you what you need to spread the word and make it really easy for you. But again, whether you can do a little, like to post on social media, or a lot, like hand out palm cards or host one of these on your own, we need your help. So I'm going to put all of that in there in the chat box. And I can be around for a few minutes to answer any questions. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, everybody on here for having me on.
And Rebecca, just want to let you know, today's meeting is joined by also the DD Council. So Joyce Levin is also here as well. This is a joint meeting today.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
I thank you for your important information, and please give us the information and we will definitely share it.
Yes, we both councils will share because we both know how important this is. We always work together. But thank you very
Wonderful.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, folks.
Joyce, do you have any questions?
Question time.
Or anybody else?
Question time. Come on, guys. I know I'm going to be testing you guys.
Excuse me, Christopher, I'm going to start the first one.
Go ahead.
Rebecca, I'm starting
Actually,
with
the
you.
chairperson should go first. Debbie and Joyce.
Okay, Rebecca, can you hear me clearly first?
Yes.
Okay, Rebecca, my big concern is not just only about the payment, is about the accessibility, not just the physical accessibility to get in and out of the place, make sure there's bathrooms that are accessible. But when our parents bring our children to be tested, many of our children cannot always handle it. Is your staff going to be patient? Because we don't want our kids and we don't want our children to be traumatized. They may be adults, but they're children in an adult body, and we're very, very concerned. We want them to be healthy, and also sometimes because of tactile sensitivity, they can't wear certain masks. So I don't want them being screamed at, yelled at, because that will set them off even worse. So what guidelines or precautions have you taken so that our children can get tested safely? Joyce, is there anything else you wanted to add on what I said?
No, I know through certain of our programs, we've taken many of our individuals to be tested. Some people just won't get tested, and that's the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, it's been very successful.
Then I'm glad to hear, but as you say, I'm concerned also because the families, their children are at home, and I was also asked to be asking this question from the Bronx chair of the advisory, and I kept my word. So now, Rebecca, what do you have those? Does your staff could handle this?
So the staff that does the testing is through Health and Hospitals, and then also like you have City MD and you have Northwell and all these places. What I can do, and so I don't necessarily personally interact with everybody there, but I do talk regularly to Health and Hospital staff and to the mayor's staff, and I can share any concerns as they come up. So I'm going to also include my email here. And so I just encourage you, if you hear anything or if you have concerns, I would be happy to share that and to kind of be a point of communication whenever possible. I want to, as I'm sure information is always a little messy in government, and certainly with things moving so fast, but I am committed to doing my best. So just stay in touch with me, and we will try to address concerns and issues, because you're right. Like, I would hope and I would assume that staff would be sensitive to the diversity of needs. But we know things come up, and we know that there's a lot of lack of training. So
when I do this means like,
yeah,
some do, And then sometimes, even though we've been promised it'll be safe and fine, we've been lied to. And that's all I'm going to say. And I don't want anybody, whether it's developmental, whatever type of developmental, physical, mental, emotional, whatever, I want the persons to be treated with patience and understanding, because we know that they're not trying to really do this. It's part of their disability. So that's why I'm asking, because I don't want to see any of our parents bringing their children or like their siblings or the nephew. I don't want anybody hurt. And
I
if
agree.
Yelled at, screamed at,
Yeah.
or threatened with police if the child acts out.
No, that would be a disaster. And
Right.
maybe Jonathan and I should touch base.
Yes.
Yes.
So
About making sure to get this information and whatever.
Jonathan is on because I was looking for him, saying, Jonathan, why you mute yourself?
No, I'm here. So I just wanted to jump in and say that there has been a lot of conversation about masks, especially because not everybody, either for medical reasons or what have you, is comfortable wearing them. People with disabilities with respiratory issues, this is something that has come up in a few different instances. Both within, especially as we're looking to reopening and we see things like the governor's executive order. But I just want to point out that there are those guidelines within that say, unless infringed upon by the Americans with Disabilities Act, and locally we look to the human rights law, and we have been in contact with human rights as well. So I want to echo what Rebecca said. If you hear of specific instances, definitely reach out to me, reach out to Rebecca, and we want to hear about them so we can address them. And we will do everything we can to ensure that these guidelines are known, but when there's a specific instance, we want to be able to intervene as much as possible. So this is something that we are, aware of. And,
Jonathan, maybe, I know Joyce, if she has time, but because Joyce, we don't have busy, but I'm very willing to work with both of you because I want to make sure that our population is also treated well. So, and we need to, if whatever we can do. Joyce, is that okay that we all work together about
Yeah,
this?
no, that's fine. Like I said, we have over 400 people that we serve in residential services. And I have to say, like I said, we've been pretty successful in having most people tested. And not to endorse any one specific place, but the couple of city MDs that they've used in Brooklyn and Queens, and there's a place on, I think it's 18th Avenue and 65th Street. They've been great.
I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, yes, I know what you're talking about, Joyce. It's one of the clinics. Yes, I know.
But Joyce,
I don't know the name of the place offhand, but we've been very successful using those places, and there's been no issues. So, yeah, anything that comes up, just let us know.
But Joyce, I want to thank you for letting us know that, because when I know that your residential programs are being run successfully, what my more concern is the families, the individuals who live at home with their families or the siblings. I'm concerned because sometimes they won't come out and tell us right away because they're afraid. So if anybody on this call, if they can't get to Rebecca or Jonathan, you can always email the advisory council, and we will also we will share information, of course, with Joyce Levin not to go into hit, but just to know that there's problems that we can work together as a team. And that's my concern. It's more the individuals who live at home, and that's what I was bringing up. But I thank Rebecca and I thank you, Jonathan, and Joyce, of course, I thank you too, because really, I just want to make sure that everybody can get tested who can handle testing, and the same for the mask. Jonathan, thank you for bringing that up about the mask, but we do need to let the governor and the other elected officials know that if they can't wear it, they have to accept that. But we have to work something out to protect the individuals who cannot wear these masks.
Excuse me, Madam Chairs. I want to double check if anyone else has any questions.
Yes,
Does anyone have any questions? And I know people are getting, and I hear Maria. Come on.
Hi, everybody. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Maria.
Mark,
Hi,
how are you?
Hi, everybody. Hi, Chris. Hi, Debbie. I want to
Joyce
just thank
Levin's
everybody.
also here on the phone. She's the chair of the Brooklyn DD Council.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. And I want to thank everybody for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity. My name is Maria Mark from the Mayor's Office Community Affairs Unit. I'm very happy to have heard my colleagues talk about their programs. And just wanted to bring it up. And I know that this was something that was brought up previously, the face mask, face covering program. I know that some of the organizations here have received some of those face coverings from our office. We have two different options, and one of the options is a cloth-like face covering, which may be a little bit easier in some cases to breathe through. But if anybody still does need any more, please let me know. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and if you weren't able to see that,
Maria, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're gonna have to say your email also on the microphone because people are also on the phone.
Exactly. And so that's M for Maria, then another MARKH. That's like Mark with an extra H at the end at cityhall.nyc.gov. And if you missed that and you aren't going to be able to see it on the chat, you can also email Chris and he'll be able to
email me at the advisory, folks.
Yeah, the advisory, because this is, because as chair, he does it, but I'm modeling your math, okay?
Oh.
See, two types of holes, if you could see it
and
there.
I like Jonathan's thing too.
Yeah, and now I'm going to.
Now, before you, Madam Chair, there are some people still have questions.
Go ahead. Ask the question.
Well, let me check. But before we do these questions, Jonathan, you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Jonathan, I see you wrote the Mayor's Office of Disability. Can you please write your email and phone number also?
Yeah, I just put all of the contact information in there. I can read it out.
And can you say it out? Because people are on the phone, so people don't say, Chris, you left us out on the phone. So
Sure. No, I announced it all before, but I'll read it again. So if you're a person with a disability and you have a question or concern about NYC's COVID-19 response, please reach out to my office, Mayor's Office of People with Disabilities. And the phone number is 212-788-2830. That's 212-788-2830. You can visit nyc.gov/disability just for our general resources. For our COVID resources, we have nyc.gov/disability-coronavirus. That's nyc.gov/disability-coronavirus. And deaf New Yorkers, individuals who prefer to communicate in American Sign Language, we have a video phone number that you can contact at 646-396-5830. That's 646-396-5830. You can also visit nyc.gov/ASL as an American Sign Language. nyc.gov/ASL.
Okay.
And sorry, Chris, I have to run, but should I just read what I wrote? And then Maria, Chris, Deb, and Joyce, can you guys share that in an email maybe for me?
I will would be doing that because actually you guys actually are on the website that's on the New York City page, which I will be re-updating I will be updating at the end of this week, but it's already on the chat and it's also on the record here. So later on when people need the minutes, this will be available.
Beautiful. So just really quickly to find a testing site near you, nyc.gov/COVID test. Actually, I forgot to also say, you can also call 311 and ask for a testing location near you. To learn more about the Test and Trace program, you go to testandtrace.nyc. I have a very long and annoying Google form if you want to help us spread the word, so I won't be reading that link out. But you can email.
Just type it in.
You can email me at rbalin@cityhall.nyc.gov.
Rebecca, just to add in also, guys, just to add in for the record, that this is available also on our website, the emergency preparedness page. It is available and it was mentioned at the update. Some of you may got it, but it is available on our website. if you click on your address, like your home address or your working address, it will give you guys it will tell you to type it in. It works very well. I have tested it already, and I can tell you I found more locations in Brooklyn I have ever seen before, and other boroughs. And I'm going to say Nassau County, it got a little bit into Nassau County borders. So I will say give it a chance. If you have some issues, as I said before, let us know. We will all work together.
Thank you so much. Everybody go get tested. I did it. It took 2 minutes. Thanks, y'all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Anyone else have any additional questions for Jonathan and the 30th annual ADA 30? Because this is very important. We're celebrating a big thing, guys. Come on. Questions?
Yes, it's very important.
Come on, guys. I know I'm gonna start muting people and I'm gonna ask you these questions. How about the library? Well, Carrie knows, but how about Sam? Are you there? If she can unmute herself, because she's locked me out.
What about the library, Chris?
Well, no, I know you, Carrie. I want to ask Sammy, not you.
Come on, don't put her on the spot.
No, I'm not putting on the spot. It's just asking if anyone has questions.
If she has a question, she can ask. If nobody does,
Well, Chris,
I'm just really excited about it, Chris. I don't have questions until I find out more.
Chris, perhaps I could mention something, that might prompt some questions. Everyone, this is Matt Axel from Project Axel. I do want to mention that, when I say that Disability Unite is a community initiative, I very much do mean that. And when I ask for everyone, if they have the time and resources and would like to participate, please do reach out to me. I truly do mean it. One of the things that we're trying to do is create a very extensive list of community partners. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, participation is appreciated and, whatever time and resources people can contribute is great. But on the other hand, it's really about creating a really long list of organizations, individuals, companies, so that people visiting the website who may not be familiar with the cause, may not be familiar with the community, can see that the disability rights movement is truly supported by everyone. And I think everybody knows it, but they might not actually see it. It should be something that's top of mind, and that's something that we're working to achieve. So if there is or a company that you think does fit what we're doing, as in disability rights advocacy, and would like to be involved, have their logo on the Disability Unite website to show that they do support the disability rights movement and everything that we're all trying to do. Please do have them reach out to me, or feel free to connect them with me, or just shoot over to me, who the organization is and how I can get in touch with them, and I'd be happy to take it from there.
Thank you. This will be the last time. Anyone has any questions? Because we're going to move on.
Chris, I just put something else into the chat, and I just wanted to kind of announce it.
Jonathan, means you have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's not a question. It's just that, so as I mentioned before, one of the things that we are setting up and have set up is we're putting a call to disability artists, basically saying we are looking for people with disabilities in New York City. We are looking for submissions, and they could be painting, drawing, printmaking, sculpture, tactile art, ceramics, photography, anything really, to submit to our virtual exhibition that we're going to be putting together. We're working with, sorry, 1 second. Lots of organizations, lots of names.
Is
Positive Exposure, Rick Guidati. So I just put the link in the chat. Unfortunately, I can't read that out because it's very long and extensive, but Chris and Debbie, I asked that you include that in the minutes as well for folks. Yep. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And also, I just wanted to put in a quick plug that today is the last day that you can request an absentee ballot. Specifically for individuals with disabilities, there was a settlement that was put together for a lot of the hard work of a lot of advocates to create an accessible electronic absentee ballot. So I'm going to put the application. Today is the last day you can accept, or sorry, you can request it. Today is the deadline. So if you have not done so, if you are planning on voting via absentee ballot, and if you're interested in the accessible absentee ballot, please check out the link I just sent. This is also being promoted on our social media channels. If you don't follow us on social media, we are at NYC Disabilities. That's at NYC Disabilities. We're going to be continuing to promote that. As I mentioned, today is the deadline to request an absentee ballot. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jonathan. And yes, we received the application to file for an absentee ballot.
Yeah.
Great.
You need a copy of it?
Okay. Okay, everyone. I want to thank Jonathan, and I want to thank
Matt.
Kato, easy.
Okay, someone has a question?
Chris, if there are no more questions for me, I'd just like to, I'll put it in the chat, but I just want to mention, to register for the Disability Unite Festival, everyone, you can visit disabilityunite.org. That's disabilityunite.org. And to participate in Disability Unite events, including the Disability Unite Festival on July 26th, to receive.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Matt got muted, Chris.
Huh?
He wasn't finished.
No, I didn't mute anyone.
Okay.
No problem.
All right. Thank you again, Matt. And you will be hearing from both councils. And same to you, Jonathan. Joyce?
All right. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Joyce, I'm sending you. Do you want? I know Winnie's still on the line from IAC.
Winnie?
Winnie,
Here I am.
you want to give your IAC report, and then we'll do the DDR report?
Sure. Thanks, guys. So I'm Winnie Schiff. I'm from the Interagency Council of Developmental Disabilities Agencies. And one of the things that I do a lot of is advocacy for funding and other things. So that's going to be pretty much what I update you guys on. We had been preparing for a scheduled cut, which was across the board to OPWDD funded services in the amount of 2% scheduled for July 1st, 2020. And I shouldn't say preparing, I should say fighting. So we had been fighting against getting that scheduled cut up until there was a state register announcement that there would be some cuts to retainer days, therapeutic days, and vacancy days in residence. So what we found out was that this new idea for cutting retainer, therapeutic, and vacancy days was going to be a cut in lieu of the 2%. So maybe they thought that was a good thing. But the effect of it is, first of all, to cut way more money on an annualized basis than the 2% cut would have been. The new cut is $238 million when it's, state and federal dollars are taken into account and it's fully annualized. And also it targets the residential providers that have people who spend more time in the hospital, and that might be for medical reasons or mental health reasons. And it also targets the residences that were hardest hit by COVID-19. So back in the kind of middle of this pandemic crisis, some of our residences, and many of them actually, especially downstate, were really, one person came in and got sick, everybody else got sick too, lots of people were dying. It was a horrible crisis. We didn't have enough PPEs for staff. We had staff get sick and die. It was a terrible, terrible time for us. It feels like we're kind of on the other side of that, and testing and tracing, of course, is super important for all of us to maintain the gains that we've gotten to so far. But these residences have vacancies because people died. So now it's, if you're leaving your residence because you need to be hospitalized for a short time, the agency gets penalized. If you're leaving your residence because you want to visit with your family, the agency gets penalized for having you, get the freedom to go home and visit with family for a few days, or to go on vacation for a week. And certainly this cut is targeting those agencies that had the highest number of deaths from COVID-19. So clearly this is not fair, and we're fighting against it in every way we can possibly fight. So all of the associations have gotten together under an umbrella called New York Disability Advocates, or NIDA. You may have heard that name. And we have taken a position and written strong papers. We're advocating with the legislature, and especially the governor's office and the commissioner. And also families are doing sort of a parallel campaign, which is unfolding as I sit here. We're all working sort of separately and together, which is perfect. And we're hoping that we can get rid of this proposed cut. It's really ill-advised. Any questions on that before I move on?
Winnie, I just want to add that that proposed cut would probably put some residential providers out of business. And it also exponentially gets higher and higher as the years go on. So eventually it would put everybody out of business. I really, you know, this is from what the experts that I've gotten, and we're perplexed as to why this was proposed and what the government wants to do.
You're right, Joyce. Thank you for that. And we're perplexed too. It certainly looks like a planned reduction in residential beds. However you slice it, it's terrible. And it is a downward spiraling situation. Whereas a percentage across the board cut would just be hopefully a temporary, still terrible, but temporary and applied equally across the board. This is targeting specific residential providers. So it's just an awful idea. Yes.
This is Deborah. The question I have is in reference to, are they also doing this to the group homes that serve people with mental health and the other type of disabilities that may have group homes? Are they doing that to them, or it's just OPWDD?
Just OPWDD.
Boy, that's some discrimination.
It feels that way. So we're fighting it really hard.
That's a very major discrimination, because many times individuals who have mental health issues, yes, they do have families, yes, they can be difficult, but they go on vacation and they go to visit their parent or go to a hospital for many different reasons. So and is this also for people who have either drug or alcohol and who are in specialized residence? Are they doing that to them when they have problems with detoxing and have to bring them back to the hospital?
They're not. I'll say this. We've got a much larger residential program than any other type of agency. So we have more residential supports than any mental health agency or substance abuse. And also this is an attempt to right size, the OPWDD budget. So they're all dealing with their own cuts and frankly, I can't even comment on what those are because I haven't been following. It takes all of my time and then some to follow what's going on in our world. But this is just ours. And for some reason, they think that if one person goes to the hospital, that the residents' expenses go down quite a bit. So, which is silly because you need the same staffing. The only thing that changes is maybe a couple of meals, but everything else is still an expense, and it just makes absolutely no sense. It was recognized previously, and for some reason they, we're scratching our heads. But whatever, we're fighting against this, and we'll see where it goes, and we'll keep you updated.
Could you please email the advisory council and not get it, because the points you brought up will make it easier for us families to write letters. Because even though the advisory council, we're supposed to help families whose children live at home, but our other goal is to prepare the families when their family members going to go to residential programs. I don't say which kind, but if you can break down like with how are they making that it's fair if someone has to go to the hospital, like the way you explained it, will make it a lot easier for us to write letters. So
I'll send you some stuff, and I'll also make you guys aware of campaigns as they unfold. Although I'm sure you'll find out about it yourself because lots of families are involved right now.
Yes, but we
So-
want to be supportive because that's very upsetting.
Yep, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, the next thing on my list to talk about is reopening services, but first, visitation of people who live in residences. So some family members haven't been able to see their loved ones since March. And that's because out of an abundance of caution, residences don't, if they were lucky enough not to have a bunch of COVID cases and sickness and death, they don't want that because it's awful. It's very hard to manage, obviously, and everyone wants to keep everyone safe. So because of that, people who live in residences, unless they were actually brought home in the beginning of the crisis, haven't seen their families since March. And this is really, really terrible for everyone. So what we're in the midst of doing, it's been the topic of conversation with OPWDD and among a lot of different groups, but we're gathering up information on what actually is allowed right now. Because the truth is, we're allowed to visit people as long as we use social distancing. We have to maintain 6 feet from the next human. And if we can't maintain a distance, then we need to wear PPE. If we do those two things, we can see each other. And that's been going on in other settings across the state. So let's not create different rules for us. Let's go with the rules that we've already figured out for everybody else. So some residences are allowing visitation outside, like if they have a backyard or in a park nearby or something, and others are just plain not. So we need to kind of get the word out that we're allowed, especially, different regions of the state are being phased in separately. So you guys probably all know we're still in phase 1, but it looks like the gradual reopening, aside from some people in Manhattan and the Hamptons who have been, doing stupid things.
Very bad.
Yes, it's going well. So it doesn't look as though the infection is increasing in any of the areas that have been going through the phases of reopening. So I'm really hoping that the protests, which have been absolutely necessary, in my personal opinion, didn't expose a lot of people to the virus, and that that people go back to being safe and smart and using the social distancing that we've all been told is absolutely necessary. And then within those phases, there are different rules, like for gatherings of 10 or 25 people. And those are the guidelines that people in our residential programs need to be following. So we're doing a lot of work and working together with family and other association groups to try to spread that word and make sure that everybody knows what really we can do so that we can end this kind of separation of families, which stinks for everybody. The next thing that we'll, go ahead.
I want to thank you for saying that. Go ahead, Whitney, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So the next thing we've been working a lot on is ideas for reopening our day programs. So obviously we have day programs all across the spectrum. We have programs with walls, programs without walls, and they're really different. We have programs that require transportation and programs that don't. And clearly there's, again, it's all the same discussion. It's all about social distancing, infection control policies, and making sure that we keep people 6 feet apart and as much as possible, and when we can't, to wear PPEs when we must get closer. And day programs are going to be tough. It's going to be tricky. A day hab with 100 people is not going to go back to what it was for a very long time. So we're looking at, again, within the phases across the state, because it's a statewide project where everybody's meeting and coming up with ideas that we're going to be sharing in a unified way with OPWDD so that we can reopen as soon as we can, because some people are really desperate and sick of being at home. I know many of them myself. And they really need to get back to some semblance of what felt like real life. So we're looking at how to do that safely and smartly, and also to maintain the gains that we've learned. Like this meeting being virtual, it's so cool. We can all be together and talk and share information, and some of that should continue. Of course, we miss being with each other, and we'd like to get that back also. But there could be sort of a hybrid going forward, because we really have learned a lot about how to get a lot of things done remotely. So that work is ongoing, and we feel like this is an opportunity, and we're seizing the day. The other thing that we're really worried about is that as the New York State economy is reopening, it has really been damaged. And the state has a giant deficit. It's estimated at just under $14 billion for this fiscal year. The budget that they passed had a provision that they would revisit it on a regular basis, roughly quarterly, to make additional cuts or restorations as the economy comes back. The position that we're in right now is that without federal help for local and state governments, we're going to have big additional cuts that will be impossible to fight against, because it's just a reality of life. There isn't the money. And we are waiting on the feds, a very wonderfully amazing bill with everything that we could really want in it, except for one little thing, but that's a kind of a technicality, passed the House last month. Excuse me. But it hasn't been negotiated in the Senate yet. The finished bill will be quite different from the one that passed the House, so we have no illusions that we're going to get all those things. But we are hoping, and I'm going to knock on wood, that we get that state and local government help in the fourth package, which it looks like will not be coming through until possibly the end of July. So our state government cuts are waiting for that federal package to pass the Senate. And come end of July, beginning of August, we could be in terrible straits. So there's been lots of advocacy, and I thank everybody in this audience who has gone to websites and written letters to your, our senators are on board, but even your House members who have, again, most of our House members in New York City and Brooklyn especially, they're all Democrats too. And the Senate is not run by the Dems. But across the state, our campaigns have touched on the Republican House members who will hopefully speak with their Republican colleagues in the Senate and make them realize that New York State has been, we've done an amazing job. Whether you like Governor Cuomo or not, he's really led us through an incredibly difficult period in a pretty masterful way. And as long as we all stay smart, we're on the right side of the curve for sure. But now we need help to keep going and to revive our economy. And Wall Street provides money to the entire country. So if they know what's good for them and they can get out of their own way, we should be okay. But all that remains to be seen. We have to keep the pressure on. Additionally, on the federal front, the CARES Act allocated a whole bunch of money, and it's being released in what they're calling tranches, which is a new word to me, and we don't need a new word, but anyway, we have one. And the third tranche of the CARES money went to Medicare providers. And some of our clinics get Medicare money, and because they got automatic checks from the federal government, that may make them ineligible for this. Actually, that was the second tranche. I might have said the third. This third tranche, that is for Medicaid providers, and that's most of what we do. So at first it was amazing news. We were so happy that Medicaid providers were getting financial assistance from the feds now, and it's still good news. But anyone who also has Medicare income, any provider who also has Medicare income, looks like they may be excluded, and we're working through the myriad of details and difficulties to try to get to the bottom of how we can possibly either reopen that Medicare tranche or the portal for providers to get money out of it. In any case, we're working hard on getting the right information and advocating so that we don't get left out, since Medicare is a very small amount of the funding that our providers get. And lastly, there is a request for comments on the SIP-PL document that was put out by OPWDD. This is our getting into managed care. And they're looking for responses by the last week in June. And all of the provider organizations are submitting their responses. Some people in this state think we should go under managed care. Some people think we shouldn't. Everybody needs to weigh in. So, you know, there's a lot of opinions. I'm not sure. The main thing is that everybody gets what they need when they need it and the amount they need. And that's what we need to make sure happens. In the meantime, we do have to weigh in on what we think about the SIP-PL document, and hopefully everybody's doing that. So questions?
Can you please also forward that information to us? I did get the part, the last one you said, but Winnie, you know, a lot of our families, because our children are older now, many of us either went on disability, retired, or passed away. Our children collect Medicare, Medicaid, so we need to protect that too. And I hope they don't take away that safety net, that if the child's a deaf, they don't lose, they still get the Medicaid waiver without being punished. I hope that continues. Anybody else have questions?
I am checking right now. I'm trying to see if does anyone have any questions for Winnie. Anyone breathing?
We're all breathing.
Anyone smiling? Is anyone crying?
Well, Winnie, since everybody loves to read our website, and we are doing helping with the DD Council's information is also on there. Could you please send information that we could put on the website for what the families can do if they want to advocate or how they should advocate?
Will do. Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you.
Winnie, I have a question for you also, and I think this would be a good way also, because I know that Margaret Puddington said this as well at the last meeting. I know Joyce will agree with me as well. Everyone who's on today should be also contacting your Congress, U.S. senators. That will be Schumer and Gillibrand. Okay, Ruth, I know you have a question. I'll get you in just a minute. As I was saying was, now I just lost my track.
We need to contact our representatives.
Yeah.
All the elected officials from city up to the feds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but the thing is right now, we have gotten word from some congressmen and congresswomen that they are trying to do their best, but I think it'd be best when everyone should please contact your elected officials, like even today, tomorrow, even on a weekend, just to, if you see them, remind them.
And add social media, because you see, this year is the election for the Congress. So if they want to be reelected, then I think they should be, and also our state reps, they need to make sure that they are advocating for us, because if the other opponents are, then we may put our weight behind the others.
Right. And I'll forward all the information so you guys can share.
Thank you. Ruth DeRoma has a question for you, Winnie.
Yeah, I'm getting to Ruth right now. Hold on. I got you, Ruth. Go ahead, Ruth. Ruth, you can speak. Your mic is off. Ruth, you're on.
Ruth, can you hear us? Hi, Ruth.
Ruth, you have a question?
She can't hear us, I think.
Oh, that's
well, I know, because some people, well, I know she doesn't, her microphone is on. All right, Ruth, I'll come back to you if you do. Does anyone else have a question for IEC? And I see you guys are typing. Okay, guys, we're not up to announcements, but I'm asking right now because this is important. Does anyone have a question for Winnie? But this will be the last time saying this. Going once.
Let's see if Ruth is
going twice. Okay, Winnie, we're going to thank you.
Okay, it Ruth, did you have a question before we go?
Ruth.
Ruth, I think you have your headphones
I
on
have
at
a
the same time as
question.
your microphone.
I have a
Oh,
question.
Dolores. Okay, go ahead, Dolores.
I'm directing this question to Winnie, but maybe Joyce Levin also might know the answer. When you're saying that when they will open day habs again, and you're not sure exactly how that will look, are they considering possibly alternate days?
Yes.
Coming Monday, Wednesday, Fridays? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I was just wondering how that
Considering shifts and days, and maybe just beginning with people who are at home with families first, and because people who are live in residences are still receiving more services than those guys. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let me just check for Ruth. Because Ruth, if you're on, you can't have because one thing I'm going to make clear, if you have your microphone on, you guys do not need to have the headphones on at the same time, because you have to make one decision, a microphone or the headphones. If the microphone on yours, Ruth, is on, so you're off mute. And we cannot hear you. So I'm guessing you're typing something to me?
Type it and we'll get it to Winnie, and then you get back.
No, let's see.
How's your Wi-Fi?
You guys can
I
move
can't
on.
hear
There you go.
anything. Mine
Oh, I hear you.
I can hear you now.
You can ask. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Ruth. Ruth, you just spoke.
Yeah, we can hear her, but she can't hear us. So she'll have to work on her issue, and when she does,
yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. But Winnie, we want to thank you.
Joyce, are you there, my dear?
Yes,
My
Winnie,
pleasure.
thank you so much for the information.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you for all the advocacy for us too. We really appreciate. This is from the families.
Henry, are you there? Representing the Brooklyn DDRO.
Yes, I'm here, Chris.
Hi, Henry.
Henry, it's your turn. You're on the cold seat.
Well, I have nothing really to add. I'm just listening in today, taking all the information in. So, no, nothing new, nothing to add.
Okay, so everything's okay at the Brooklyn DDRO. I know there's no changes. Everything's basically same for now.
Well, when you say changes in terms of what, staffing?
Staffing.
Well, nothing really changed. Most of the staff, most of us are able to work from home 100%. I am able to work from home 100%. We have access to our desktop, so we can do really what we are supposed to be doing from the office. So schedule is back to full 100%. The only staff that sometimes we required to go back is those staff who may need some stuff from the office. So there's a schedule for them to go back and maybe pick up stuff. Or we're also in the process of getting ready to move to a new location once it's ready. So we are currently rearranging, looking into our file cabinets and see which ones we need to move to a new location. Those buildings that are coming up close to us. So we don't know when yet, but so it's just, those are the staff that are currently going back. We have a central phone number for people who have questions. They've been directed to that telephone. All messages are checked every day, and phone calls are returned and directed to the appropriate staff. So we in full, working on, full force. I would recommend using emails for, if you know the staff email, to use email directly rather than leaving phone messages. Emails are easily returned because we all have access to our emails, and it's quicker for us to get the questions and emails and then respond to any questions or any problems. But phone calls are also, checked every day and then directed to the appropriate staff for action. So nothing, so far so good. Hopefully, we'll be giving out information when we all can return fully 100% back to the office. The other thing that I heard about it, some families have concerns about cuts and changes that OPWDD is making. I would say don't listen to those rumors or informations. Once confirmed, the central office will send us information as to what cuts are being made. I wouldn't worry about rumors or information that you're getting from here and there. The commissioner is good at sending down information about specific information about cuts. So unless you can read up on it on our website, don't go by information from third parties or from other people until you can hear directly from OPWDD or from our website or from the commission.
Henry, I would just like to, that's once the cuts are made. These are proposed cuts that we must discuss and act on, because once we hear it from the commissioner, it's already a done deal. We register right now in the government, they are proposing these cuts.
Correct.
Devastate absolutely the service providers for residential. Some of us are wondering, we're going backwards, and, we never want to go to Willowbrook again.
No.
Us old enough to remember that. But these cuts are going to lead us down that path, and we have to make sure we get there.
Absolutely. So this is a time for, rather than just listening and saying, cuts are coming, there are avenues for you to go on and participate and
yes, absolutely. That's what we're talking about.
Put your on record.
Right. Do you know anything about where anything stands with the aging out folks, kids that are aging out of school? I don't know if Mary Christopher's on the line.
No.
Mary's not on. Okay.
No.
We know that people have been screened virtually as some of the individuals that are aging out, and I think some people have been accepted, but I'm not exactly sure.
I'm coming with you.
To certain programs, so I'm just not sure. Do you have any information on that?
You have a program
We just lost his video, but he's still there. Henry, this is Debbie. I don't know what happened, Joyce, because I know you're
I'm not sure.
Henry, you still there? You can still
Henry?
speak.
Maybe he's checking. Well,
hold on. Let me check. Hold on. Joyce, I see you on. That's a good sign.
Joyce, you and I are on. So is Chris, and mostly everybody else, but his screen went off for a moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay.
Hold
I
on.
just wanted you to know, 'cause
I'm checking
we don't
right
have
now on his
video.
list of his names. Hold on.
I just wanted you to know. Well, Joyce, the advisory council members, we will try to advocate the best we can to minimize, insert whatever we can do the best. Unfortunately, and I'm just saying this not because I want it, but if they do come through, we are ready to still advocate for them to figure out how to not cause that much pain, and we can maybe try to get those reversed. But one thing Winnie did say, which unfortunately she's correct, our economy has been devastated because of this virus. So we'll have to figure out something. We have to work together. And I agree with what you're saying. And I will advocate.
I know you will.
Madam Chair, I think he's fixing his camera because his system is still on, but he went on mute still.
Okay, well, you know what?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We have someone has a question. Hold on.
Okay.
Caller user, you're on. Who had a question? Just raise their hand. You can speak. Well, at least we know that thing works. So we know that somebody had a question, but they...
You know what? Joyce, Chris, unmute Joyce.
It's not me.
Oh, Joyce, please unmute because I wanted to say
yes.
What we should do is there are questions or comments also. I'm not talking about announcements in the chat. We will look at them later after the meeting and then forward it, figure out can we forward them to Joyce too, Chris?
Yeah, it's on a chatting system. So those questions, and also this recording is going to be on the video. It's going to be on the minutes. So the minutes will still be, there.
So if nobody asked the question, but they typed it, Joyce will make sure you see them.
Okay, very good. No problem.
Henry's
back. We'll check with
Yes,
Henry.
I'm sorry. I had to step out. Was there a question for me?
Yes, Henry. Joyce had a question.
I'm sorry, Joyce, please. What was it?
Oh, yeah, this was in reference to the young adults that are aging out of the Board of Education or the DOE. And I know that certain agencies have been doing virtual screenings and meetings and I guess accepting people virtually. Do you know anything about that? Has anything come through that you're aware of with numbers or anything like that?
Absolutely no, but I would direct that question to Kiva Jackson.
Okay, good.
Email her, and she's working 100% from home, so she'll be able to give you that information. She's the original coordinator for that. So
okay, great.
Just email her, Kiva, and she will respond to it.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another question. Caller number 2 was raising her hand. And
hello, everybody. Good morning.
Hello, this is Angela. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Angela. There was a caller number 2.
Hello, this is Angela. Can you hear me?
Yes, Angela.
Caller number 2. Good morning.
Okay. I'm just giving a quick update on the family support stuff. There's still a few agencies that have funding that need to be used up by the end of the month. So you still have, if you can let your families know that. Also, the governor has not given us a clear. Let me take that back. The governor has approved some camps to be opened, but we have not been approved to pay for the camps yet. So we're still waiting for a directive from Albany. So if you can let your families know that, because I know the camps are coming up next month, but we have not been approved to make any payments yet.
Okay, you know what? You're right, Angela. This is Debbie. Thank you very much. And yes, we will let the families know. If you hear anything, could you please contact us and let us know if they find the payments have been approved?
Right, it'll come out in an email. It'll come out as a directive from Albany whenever we're told. But right now we are not paying for any camps. There's just a few agencies that have funds. So I know, I think ADAPT still has a few dollars, but not too many people. No, you can't do that, baby.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Angela, though, we appreciate that you're giving us this information. It's very important. Joyce, do you have any questions for Angela?
There was a question that was writing in the question area chat. Somebody was asking, Helen, I'll be with you 1 second. I know that's you. I'll put, just hold on.
Thank you for the email.
Angela, there's a question for you. People are asking, how are you feeling?
Yes, that's what people have been asking us too.
How am I feeling?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm doing okay, thank you.
And Henry, this is also for you as well. How are you feeling?
I can't hear Henry, Chris. Unmute him, please.
It's not me.
Yeah, I'm fine. So far so good. I'm able to. It's as if I have my desktop at home, so I have access to all my information.
Yes.
So so far so good. It's just that a different way of working, a little bit laid back, but I can do what all I have to do from home. So I can't complain. We're healthy, so that you have to be thankful for. Other than that, so far so good.
All right.
Oh, Angela, I have a message for you.
Hold on a second. Helen Reyes has been waiting patiently.
Oh,
Helen?
sorry, Helen.
Helen?
Are you there?
I know she's here somewhere. Here she is. Helen, you're here. Come on.
This is Helen from the Guild for Exceptional Children. I want to direct this call to Henry.
Yes.
Henry, could you confirm to send the comments about the 1950C waiver? Is it the OPWDD and Holland Avenue address and then People First waiver? at OPWGD, or is there a specific form and a specific contact?
For the comments, for the public comments, you
Yes, for the public comments.
are you able? Aren't you able? You check our website. It's not on there. If you,
I looked at the website, and the only thing I saw from the commissioner was the OPWGD Albany address, and then people first waiver at opwgd.ny.gov. But I thought there was a specific form.
there's a link. Yes, there's a link that will direct you to all the. I would check into it and see before the meeting is over if I can get access to it. I'll put it on the chat.
I looked at it. All it has is the document, which is like 400 pages, which I printed out a while ago. But if you could email me, if you find a specific address to send it to.
I will email. I sure will. And who is this? Who is this?
Helen Reyes from the Guild for Exceptional Children. It's HREYES at GECBKLYN.org.
Okay. Could you have my email address as well? Do you have my email?
I believe I have it. Yes.
Could you email me then, and I'll follow the link to respond to it, please? I'm not gonna write it down.
Thank you so much.
All
I
right, you're
appreciate
welcome.
it. Bye-bye.
All right.
Thank you, Helen. Great to hear from you.
Yeah,
I have a
thanks, everybody.
Good. A message for Angela. Dr. Lax from CARES wants everyone to know they still have some funds left for reimbursement.
Yes.
Helen's still on.
I'm glad you're on, Helen. Miss you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Joyce, is there any other things we need to ask of either Henry or Angela?
Nothing I can think of right now. Thank you.
Is Gavin on?
Yeah, I'm on. Hi.
I know there was something about you.
Hello, Gavin. Are you just on phone or by video?
I'm basically currently on the. There's no video, so it's just sound right now. But
okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to provide a little bit of an update about what's happening at DOHMH, the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, especially because of COVID-19. So we are continuing what's called our activation response, which is our emergency response to this, to the current health pandemic. And we've identified a number of objectives that are guiding our work to protect and promote the health of all New Yorkers. Specifically, we are collaborating with different city agencies and state partners, including OPWDD, to work on some of the very specific issues with the regulations that are happening. As you know, for example, telehealth is now extended so that people can use telehealth, which is great, and that's a positive change. And there's thought about whether that would be helpful in the future to continue that ability to at least do telehealth for those who want it. In addition, we're doing a lot of surveillance and trying to understand the areas that are hard hit the most. And we're also doing supply and distribution of PPE as well to different organizations and to individuals and organizations that need that. And we're also doing assistance with case management and planning to the congregate sites, serving individuals with IDB. And then also we have a great website that I highly encourage everyone to visit, which I'm going to put into the chat box. And it basically has a ton of information about COVID-19. The first landing page is what I sent, but if you click around, there's also a lot of information about coping and emotional well-being. So there's a lot of information, as you know, due to the lockdown, we're seeing increases in depression, anxiety, other symptoms. And so one of the important things is to stay connected to people. And so there's, on our page, there is a section for getting resources for for coping and emotional well-being. There's also a section on data. So to understand, if you're interested to see where the cases are coming from, we update that daily. And also a section on symptoms and what to do if you're sick, like those kind of things. And special guidance for people who are high risk groups. And then some general information as well about, obviously prevention, which I think by this point everybody knows, washing your hands for 30 seconds, keeping 6 feet away, those kind of things. But those are still really important to reinforce to people. And also some information about the reopening phases, like New York City restart and what that might look like. So this main page, as I said, it's a launch page only, but if you go to that, you'll definitely be able to see on the left-hand side some of the differences and some of the different things that we're doing. And then also, just as you know, we're working on the local services plan. This year, the deadline was pushed back by the state, so it's actually due a little bit later this year. And right now, we already had our meeting with stakeholders. Chris and Joyce were involved with that, and other people from all the boroughs.
And Debbie.
You forgot me.
Debbie, and we had a great meeting, and for that we've integrated a lot of those comments that people made into the document, and then that document is now undergoing review by the Executive Deputy Commissioner Hillary Cunnins, Dr. Hillary Cunnins, and she is going to be working on finalizing that with the Mental Hygiene Division, and then at that point it will be submitted. And once the final version is available, we will send that out to the council and everything. So I think that those are most of my updates. If anyone had any specific questions.
We do, Gavin, we have questions, but before I do let the first person speak, does the chairperson, Joyce and Debbie, have any questions?
What's the date that it's been extended to for the city plan?
The date that I think the final date is sometime in August in terms of when the when it's due to the state. In other words, there's a whole bunch of other processes after it goes from our executive deputy commissioner. I believe it goes to City Hall and so forth. But this is all to say that that's why our meetings this year were pushed back when we had our stakeholder meeting, which we have every year. It was a little bit later this year.
Joyce, do you have any questions for Gavin?
No, none at this time. Thank you, Gavin.
Okay, Angela, you're up. And you're off.
Hi, Chris, Deborah. This is Angela again. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I think you said you had a question from Dr. Lax, but then I couldn't get on to answer or hear what the question was.
It wasn't a question. She just typed in the chat that CARES has money left for reimbursement. She just wanted to know.
Oh, okay.
So she asked.
Okay, yes, so if they have money, you need to get that out as soon as possible so we can get that approved. It's halfway through the month and everything has to be spent by the 30th.
Correct.
Correct.
We just want you to know.
Thank you, Angela.
Okay, I have another call in about 10 minutes, so I have a couple more minutes left on here and I have to get off, I'm afraid. I wish you all a good summer if I don't get to talk to you, and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, thank you, Angela.
Thank you, Angela.
Please stay well. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Joyce,
now, does anyone have any questions for Gavin? Who's this?
Questions for Gavin?
Henry, you have any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Okay, Gavin.
I just put up the link to the HCBS waiver page, OPW page, and over there you can have several links to the forums and public comments and documents. So just go through that, and then you should be able to see all the information that you're looking for.
So Helen, if you're on, Helen, this is for Helen. I will email you after.
And Gavin put his information up on the chat, in the chat too. This is
Yeah.
for everyone who's on the phone. Can't see it. But if you email us later, we'll give you his info.
I'll be then copying and pasting everyone, so everyone who wrote today can check this out, and I will remind everyone this information will be available also on when our next meeting is, which we'll be mentioning later on.
This is for the advisory.
Does anyone have any questions for Gavin? Saying none. Now we're going to move on to updates first, which is me. I'll make this easier for everyone because I'm not going to change screens. Number one thing, I want to thank everyone who did show up to the special one. I want to thank you all because some of you did get the face mask, the washable face mask, which it looks like this. It's easy to put on, which is mine right now. So as you see, I put it on. I look gorgeous, handsome and gorgeous. So that's another way of putting it on. Main thing is also, I have good news also, and this is, if Carrie's on here, I hope she's still on, or someone from the library can hear this clearly.
I'm on, Chris.
Because this relates to include as well as everyone else here. 2020 censors, there is a question area for putting in just the word disability. You don't have to put the name of the disability person, but a person with just say a disability. That is actually up by, as of today, it's up by 84%.
Wow.
And that's the 5 boroughs I'm talking about. Long Island, you're up. Long Island is only up by, as of today, 61%. They only moved up 1%. So there is a mission from now to October 31st. I challenge every agency, I know DDR is already doing this, but I'm saying this. I'm challenging everyone to make sure, please, guys, do the 2020 censors. Yeah. Ms. Golden was our speaker on the updates. Some of the agencies did come on. We want to make sure everyone does that. Also, very important thing also, as Winnie has mentioned this earlier, Maria has mentioned something else. Maria from Mayor's Office of Consumer Affairs, as well as we are getting a lot of good things coming up. And there is a lot of good news. There are some good news to come in. I hope all our agencies are going to do some of the art stuff for the 30th annual ADA compliance. It is a big thing. And we want to thank Victor Calisi and Jonathan and the whole staff there that are making sure that everyone does this. As you heard, he announced it yesterday. We're the first council actually got this piece. And I was honored because this is something that we all got to work together and keep the families and people with disabilities, keep them busy. There are always something to keep them busy. Also very important also is, as you know, that we do have some good news for the 4th of July, but the fireworks I'm going to say to be announced. But anyone who likes to watch the Nathan's hot dog contest, I just got word.
Oh, God, no.
Yes, it's on.
Oh, God.
Okay, so please, everyone, please make sure at least you got something. But I am going to remind you all, please use your face mask. Also on our website, we do have how you can go on to our emergency preparedness page. It is updated every week. Please make sure you check it, get something, and guess what? There are a lot of things that gives you some great tips. Jonathan Nowak, Mayor's Office of Disability, does a weekly, every Friday from 1 to 2, a 1-hour meeting with different speakers. And there are 2 agencies that were on. I have to thank them very much. We also, you get a lot of data, information, and that information does go into our website as well, which they do have a page with us, especially to find where are the test sites are. And let me tell you, the test sites have increased. So please make sure you all do that and make sure we keep that up to date. That's all I have. So now I'm going to move on to our next part of our agenda, which is the chairpersons right now. If anyone has questions, I'm not leaving. We can talk after. Joyce or Debbie, who wants to go first?
Joyce, would you like to go first?
Joyce?
No, thanks.
Okay. All right, I'm going to make a really quick report. Every week I usually get updates from Margaret Puddington, she is the chairperson of the statewide advisory. I'm not mentioning how many of our individuals were lost. She has also kept us up to date on looking to read the waiver. All she says is please keep up our advocacy, work together. And I'm just going to say on my part, I have a few things important. One, please refill out or fill out the census form, especially the question, I believe is number 9. Please put the word disability in, because we need to have more aid here in New York City and New York State. They need to see that we have a large population of persons with disabilities. In reference to voting, please, if you don't want to go to the polling sites, ask for the absentee ballot today. Request it. It is very important. We have to vote. We have to let I'm not telling you who to vote for, but we need to let the people who are running now for Congress, that if they want our vote, they need to advocate and help us. So please do that. That's very important. The advisory council, yes, will meet one time by video, Ring Central again, in the month of July. We haven't picked the date yet, but we will let everybody know, because, and also we want everybody to be aware that we all are in this together. And I thank everyone, and I especially thank Joyce, Chair of the DD Council, that we've been able to work as a team. With that, is what's the next thing on the agenda? Because Joyce, you said you didn't have anything, right?
No, and I'm actually going to have to leave like in 3 minutes to go to my next meeting.
All right.
Does anyone have any questions for the both chairpersons?
All right, Christopher, I don't see any questions. Joyce, I want to thank you.
Hold on, I know Joyce has to leave, but hold on, we got something. Hold on. Okay, Carrie, I know you're going to be next on the first. That's the first one. Hold on 1 minute. Joyce, I know you have to run, but we want to thank you for
working with us, and that to agree to the joint. If you choose to want to do the in July with us, we'll work on a date that's mutually acceptable for you. Just want you to know that you're more than welcome. Any of our updates or announcements, you're more than welcome to always participate with us, because we want everyone to get the information for there's not just only advisory for the Brooklyn DD Council, but thank you for your help and support.
Thank you, Debbie and Chris. It's really been wonderful having you update everybody and keep everybody up to date all the time with the information and getting the word out. It's so important now more than ever, as you know.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate having the joint meetings. I think they've been very productive for everybody. And I'd like to thank everybody for joining the call. And hopefully we'll hear soon from everyone. Okay. Have a good 4th of July.
Thank you, Joyce. Same to you, and we will let you know all the announcements, but we know you have to go to your next meeting. But thank you for being with us and helping me co-chair. I always appreciate this.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks again. Take care.
You're welcome. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, everyone, it's time for announcements.
And our first one is
Carrie Bang, because she's already put it in already.
Go ahead, Carrie, my dear.
Hi, Al. I hope everyone is doing as well as can be expected. Thank you, Chris and Deborah and Joyce and everybody else for doing these meetings. It's just great to be able to connect with people. I want to let people know that Brooklyn Public Library has some exciting virtual programs. We have online sign language classes on Tuesdays at 12. The details for all of these are in the chat at the very beginning. We are continuing our Navigating Your Child's Disability one-to-one expert assistance on the first Wednesday of every month. So the next one is on July 1st at 10 a.m. This is actually on the phone and not online, so you need to call me to make an appointment, and you will be called by an expert from Include NYC, our very own Ruth DeRoma. Again, information is in the chat at the very beginning and also on our website. Brooklyn Public Library's adult literacy programs are also continuing. And one thing that I'm really excited about is that there are provisions for phone programs so that you don't actually have to be able to use a computer or to have a computer in order to participate with the adult learning and literacy for adults. So check that out. And finally, one of my absolute favorite things, every day we have a new poem and a new story available. So if you give us a call at 718-230-2283, again, 718-230-2283, you can check out the poem of the day and the story of the day. Perfect for bedtime readings or any time of the day. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'm not going anywhere.
Thank you, Carrie.
Thank
And
you.
Carrie, can you? I saw that you also said something that libraries in Brooklyn. I'm going to talk about Brooklyn Public Library because we're in Brooklyn. You said that when we go into phase 3 is when you'll open.
Not quite, Debbie.
But
the libraries are will be, we hope, beginning to open up on July 13th.
Okay.
With very limited service. You can just come to the library and pick up books that you have reserved. That's it. There are phases to our reopen. So in the second phase, you'll be able to actually come in and request books and interact in the library a little bit. And then when we get to the third phase of the library's reopening, which will be further along, which does not correspond to the city reopening directly. When you get to that third phase,
what I was trying to sign up for it because I know we got to give a notice of what we're doing while we're home.
Excuse me.
So that's what.
Zadine, you need to mute.
917.
Actually, on another one with Kerry.
Press mute them.
That one she sent us
that's
to. The email is started.
that's actually Zadine. She has a child at home who's doing virtual schooling. So I apologize for that.
No, I sent you. Well, that we have to start. I don't know. Can
you mute
I am muting.
Excuse me. Hello.
Yeah, stop talking. I can't do
Oh,
it.
sugar! I thought I was muted.
All right, I think we got that solved.
Yeah.
All right. So how quickly we're able to move along in our phased reopening will depend on, of course, the indicators and there may be setbacks if we get a place where, where we have a staff member perhaps is exposed to COVID-19, then we would have to shut that location down and reassign staff and things like that. So we want to do this in a safer way as possible, but also we're all eager to get back to providing in-person service. So in the meantime, don't forget, we have our great virtual programs and our phone programs.
And we can still get books online, right?
Absolutely. You can get all kinds of books online, graphic books, audio books, print books.
Carrie bank books.
Bank books you're going to have to find someplace else. Sorry. But
Okay.
yes, the library does have my 2 books in the collection, Chris.
You
Well, that's what I
wrote a
said.
book?
Yep, 2 of them.
Okay.
Well,
Carrie.
thank you, Carrie. Does anyone have any questions for Carrie? No. Okay. Our next person, and I'm going to get it back onto my chatting area, and I saw it was Matthew, and then Joe's next.
Matthew from YAI.
Matthew YAI.
Yes, hello, everybody. YAI has vacancies. Just give Link a call. I don't have the actual list. It's my colleague is still working on it. So just call Link at 212-273-6182 so that we can give you the latest vacancies. And we are phasing in the in-person medical and clinical services. So call patient services at 212-273-6272 to schedule any evaluation or medical or clinical services. That's really it.
Thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome.
Next person is Joe with a TAN.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe from GXO Outreach Coordinator. Just want everyone to know that we have openings for community help. They have awards and support employment. Consider it's a transition period. If you have any referrals or any concerns for the services, feel free to contact us. You could contact my supervisor, Pat, at 347-828-6660. I will leave that in the chat. And also, we have contract with Care Design to continue assisting Chinese and Korean family to enroll into Care Design's care management and go through the eligibility process regardless of language barrier. If there's any referral, feel free to contact me at 718-261-6552, extension 2054. I will leave that in the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I see we have someone, I'll see that we have an APR. Well, I know Dr. Latz is next, but give me a second, Dr. Latz. Because people are going a little too fast. Thank you, Joe. Let me see. Someone said, can we place the contact in the chat? The answer is yes, and you know
Of course you should.
doing that. But,
Do that. It'll be
okay.
helpful.
Now is Dr. Latz on?
Hi. Good morning, everybody. CARES has
Morning.
openings in our family reimbursement program for anyone who made purchases in this calendar year, anytime from July 1st of 2019 through the third week of June in 2020 for a child or an adult who lives in Brooklyn who has a letter of an NOD or an LOC from the Brooklyn Regional Office or from OPWDD for up to $500 per individual. If it's a family, it can be $500 per child if more than one child has an eligible condition. We also have openings in our ComHab program, our respite program, and our day habilitation, which we have continued to do both in person and remotely, depending on the needs of the family and the condition of the individual. Our clinic has never closed. We were open continuously, albeit with limited staffing. So if anyone needs either a clinical evaluation for eligibility, a visit with a psychiatrist, or a psychosocial update, please call 212-420-1970, extension 123. That's 212-420-1970, extension 123, and you will let Pearl know what your needs are. Again, the service can either be provided in person, if that's more appropriate, or it can be provided remotely via telehealth if that works for the family. So we are making both options available, and we are offering services in Spanish, Chinese, English, Russian, Hebrew, Yiddish at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Lex.
What agency was that?
CARES.
That was CARES.
That was CARES from Dr. Lask. Does anyone else have an announcement? Dolores, go ahead.
Yes, I do. First, I want to thank the both councils, Deborah, Joyce, and Chris, for organizing this virtual meeting. Has been a very anxious time, and being able to have a forum where we get information is very helpful. For our families, so thank you. I do want to say that day camps are reopening June 29th. The governor gave permission for them to open. So we do have, NICET does have money for camp reimbursement. And you can email me, NYSID, New York State Institute on Disability. So I put in the chat my email address or Jackie Tribodi's email address for NYSID to get an application. You need to fill out an application, attach an invoice, send it to NYSID, and we will reimburse you. I do not, depending on funds, I do not know how much they'll reimburse each family, but there is some money for reimbursement.
Thank you, Doris. I appreciate that. Please send my regards to everyone at NYSID.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have an announcement that I want to? Jewel, do you want to make an announcement? Because you've been typing up a storm here. Don't, okay, who's doing the Darth Vader moment here?
Oh, not me. It was, anybody else has any announcements? Anything they need
I
to add?
do. Go ahead and do
Sandy.
that until I'm finished, and then we'll go break together.
Sandy, hold on.
Hold on, we have to mute
Okay,
somebody.
I got it. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Sandy.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, talk louder.
Okay. ADAPT Community Network has openings in family reimbursement, community rehabilitation, home modifications, housing assistance services, and ISS. You can contact Project Connect at 877-827-2666, or you can email projectconnect@adaptcommunitynetwork.org, and I put all the information in the chat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. We got something on chat that's, who is Ms. VOLOWOKERE? Can you please identify? Are you talking about if any agencies here can answer this question? Parents are asking if there are any safety guards in the day camp. Any agency can answer that question, or even Henry.
You mean
What question was that?
All right. Is this question about that any camps that are day camps that are opening? You want to know what kind of safety precautions they're going to take?
Safety gardens in the, yeah, now she says I'm correct because he gave me a yes.
Well, I definitely don't know, but I know they're supposed to.
They're
I think you have to follow the
Dolores, are you there?
Oh.
She's asking for
Henry's
Dolores from the agency you just spoke.
Yeah, I would imagine the guidelines will be presented by the Department of Health, and they will follow those guidelines, but we didn't get any guidelines yet. I mean, we don't know.
And I also think some of the camps now are outdoor. Most of them that are operating currently, they're outdoor, and so in that way they're able to, observe the safety precautions. Some of them I know are outdoors, and they're operating and working fine.
Glad to hear that.
Did that answer your question? Dolores, another question came for you also. Can we give us can you please type up on the chatter again your contact information?
Okay, sure. I'll type it.
This is, and I know who it is. It's Matthew from YEI, but I think they're asking you if you can please retype it up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any announcements? And I know there are some agencies on, so I'm going to be going to those agencies. Let's see. I know I saw Jewel. Michael Lewis, are you here still?
Yes, I'm here.
You want to announce your announcement? First of all, how are you? Nice.
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Been a while.
Hi. Nice to meet everyone. My name is Michael Lewis. I'm the program supervisor for the Day Habilitation Program for Jules Human Services in Brooklyn. This is my first meeting, so I'm introducing myself. I just want to let you guys know we do have some openings for our Day Half Without Walls whenever we do open. If anyone is interested, you can go to our website and there's a quick and easy, you just click on services and you click on application and you fill out the application and it comes right to us and someone gets right back to you. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Don't go away yet. Does anyone have any questions for him? Actually, Michael, don't move. There's a question here for you. Seems you're very popular today.
They want your contact information.
Yeah, that's the thing they're asking. Like Dolores just did hers. Can you please put it in on the chat, your contact information? That's what she's asking for. Jew for Human Services.
I will.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me check. I know we have some CCOs in the house, so I'm going to have fun picking on them.
No picking.
Oh, yes, I got to have my picking. Tri-County, I know you're there.
They posted.
I know, I still like to hear their voices.
Yeah, they posted. So if they posted, it's fine.
Tri-County, you have any one additional announcement you want to make? PHP, Care Design?
Afternoon.
And I know that's Miss the young and beautiful Jessica.
Hi, how are you guys? Hope everyone's doing well on this good afternoon. My name is Jessica Williamson. I am an intake and outreach specialist at Tri-County Care. The announcement that I put inside the chat is regarding our efforts to continue to work remotely to help enrollments, where I'm working directly with District 75 and other agencies who are looking to make referrals to us. At this moment, we have started to assist with getting psychologicals done. We have hired a psychologist to conduct the evaluation out of our Brooklyn and Bronx location. As far as getting psychosocials completed, our intake staff is conducting social histories over the phone. We're doing the best we can right now to stay connected with everyone, as this is the most important thing, to stay connected and let everyone know that we're here to support them. I have also put my information down at the bottom. My email address is j.williamston@tricountycare.org. You can reach me at 844-504-8400. My extension is 9298.
Thank you very much. This is Deborah Greif, the chair of the advisory. Thank you. All right, anybody else? Christopher, do you see anybody else who has questions? Okay. All right, as you see.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Miss Jessica, can you please put your information on the chat so people can get it? There's a question also here. I don't know.
Yes, I'll put it on again. I have it on already, but I'll put it again. No problem.
Yeah, because you know they love those information. What is, maybe someone can answer this question. What is TCC? We are here.
Yes, what is TCC?
Because I have no idea what that means. Oh, what is the email? Okay, here's the second question. Jewel, they're still waiting for you for your email address or the website for the Jewel Human Services. If Michael's still on.
Okay.
I'm adding it now.
Okay, thank you. And Tri-County is already going to be putting that on in just a second. Let me just move this over. Thank God I have a little room on the screen. I know Tri-County spoke. Is ACA on before we end? Is PHP still on the house? Because I know I saw them somewhere.
And Care Design already spoke.
Mm-hmm. Does anyone else have any additional announcements they want to say now or whatever?
All right, I'm giving everybody 30 seconds because as you're doing that, I'm going to say this. Any information that you send that you want us to put on the website will not be done before Friday. We only put announcements on once a week. The We also want everybody to know that we do meet once in July, and if the Brooklyn DD Council chooses, I will be speaking to Joyce Levin, the chairperson, but our next one will be on Tuesday, July 21st, 2020, 10 a.m. Live Ring Central.
Like we did before, everyone gets on at 9:30. It will work that way.
Okay. The other thing is very important. We have been doing updates, and we have invited agencies, and some of you participate, and some of you don't. Now, it would be really beholden of you to try to participate. And when we put the email out, or it's on Facebook, or with that, please respond. Why? If we still get families who, if they're not on officially the first time, they look at the information and they will contact you. So please, when we tell you we're going to do an outreach, that is so that we can not wait 30 days till the next meeting. Even though we do update the website, because as you notice, we do have a working relationship with the Mayor's Office of Persons with Disabilities. We also work with a lot of the elected official staff. So what I'm asking is please participate. We know how difficult this time is, but we're trying to give you the information as soon as possible. We also have information about the updated for the Omni card. We had Mr. Reggie Barron on. He was very
Excuse me, Madam Chair, what did you just say?
We had the Omni card.
Oh, look at that. It's Omni time.
Eventually, we're not going to be using the Metro card. We'll be using the Omni card. And yes, they are going to be setting up one for people with disabilities or seniors who have a different type of card. But we do get other government agencies come in and talk with us. Plus, we do ask the CCOs, Carrie, the Brooklyn Public Library, to participate with us. If you have any, so you don't have to wait 30 days. So please pay attention to those Facebook messages, the emails. Yes, I know we repeat them regularly, but you know what? We're right now in a pandemic.
And guess what, folks? There are times that you
work
may
together.
need it, and it's not just agencies to be coming.
All right. So
Just to add in with this announcement. This last announcement also reminds you also, when we do these updates, this gives you opportunity to help your families. Now, families are allowed to come on this too. You can check our website, check our Facebook, or email us. You will see a message coming right back at you. Always check it when we do it. This week, we're not doing one because we just did an advisory council and DD council joint meeting. This has got to give you guys a chance to digest. But we are going to be maybe planning one for next week. I'm going to say to be announced. You will see it announced possibly by next week. Now, I just typed in, does anyone have an announcement they want to add or a question for Deborah Bright or me? Any questions about MTA or 2020 sensors or anything regarding schools and stuff? Camps, you already heard. Going once, going twice. Okay, at this time, Madam Chair, I'd like to, unless Sandy has no objection.
I want to, okay, but before we do that, I want to thank everybody who have participated today. Please join us in the updates and the other meetings, because this way we can work together to make sure our families don't feel isolated. And yes, I hope every family member who wants to come on. So I want to thank everybody. I want to thank Christopher for doing the Ring Central and holding it together so that we all can communicate without leaving the safety of our home. Thank you again.
In case anyone wants to know how many attendants, it was very high number.
Yes, it was.
And I can say this. We will see you all in July, as Joyce said it earlier, and I'm going to say it earlier. Happy 4th of July. And
That's
please,
right.
guys,
Happy
do
4th of
not
July.
play with fireworks.
Right.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Chris.
Have a
Thank
good
you,
one.
Debbie.
Nice meeting you all.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you all for participating. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
And thank you, Sandy, for doing the minutes. Love you.
You're welcome.
My pleasure.